Hi and welcome to another video. So what we're going to be doing today is creating a simple landing page, and we're going to be doing this in React. Now what we're going to be using is some UI libraries such as BootStrap, which is a common UI library, and we'll finish off with Semantic UI, which is a UI library that I've used for quite some time now. So to get started, what I've just done is created a React app, and in here, as you can see, I named it test, and in there we have our public folder and our source folder. So to start off with, we can start by removing everything that we don't need. So we can start by removing the favicon there, and we'll get rid of all that, and we'll open our index.html, get rid of that. I'm just trying to clean up this file so that it doesn't look intimidating for anyone who is watching this for the first time. So okay, what do you want? Make sure you don't remove this unless you don't want your site to be responsive. Yeah, so that looks fine, and we can get rid of the CSS. We'll create our own. Deleted that index.css, delete that, and you can leave the service work logo.js, or we can just get rid of tests, or we can leave the tests. So right now we'll get some errors, so we're going to start by fixing those errors, and we'll dive right into creating our landing page. So right here where you have this div with class name of app, I'll get rid of everything in there. Let me toggle off the terminal first. So basically everything inside the header, I'll replace that with the h1 tag, and I need to make sure that I set these to a React application, and just h1 tag saying that this is our home page. Oops, home page, like that. So save everything, and to follow along, or we might just want to get rid of app.css, and let's go into index.css, get rid of that. Service worker, we are not using you, so we'll get rid of you, and save everything. Now if we go and check our app, now we see we are getting this simple text homepage, and we are going to see how we can customize that in a minute. Now to follow along, you'll need one nice little extension here, so we'll just search for React in the extensions marketplace, and I have this extension installed, ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native Snippets. And basically what it does is it gives you some shorthand snippets that will enable you to come up with components really fast, and I just find it really productive, and it really saves me a lot of time. So make sure you go ahead and install that, and let's get started. So a lot of you might be asking, okay, we might just go ahead and do this from scratch ourselves, but what I like to do, or what I get the benefit from using some of these UI libraries is that most of them abstract the complexity in setting up your own application. So setting up your CSS, your JavaScript, and all that. So what it does is it gives you some pre-styled components, which makes your development easier. So make sure you copy that CDN link, go back to your public index, and we make sure we link to that. So save everything, and I have Prettier installed, which will just auto format that for me. So I'll change the title to that, or let's do something cool. Code with me. So code with me, welcome and code with me today. Yay. Okay, so we have that, and if we come back and check, oops, yes, you can see it's code with me. Now we have our CDN link, And we'll start by importing some components. But before we start by importing some components, basically it's inside our app. What I need, or basically the structure of our landing page, is I'll need some, let's say, a navbar at the top, then we'll have our body and the footer. So we can start by creating some basic components from which you can import into our app.js instead of just having a single page application or just one single app application. So we can start by, inside the source, we can create another folder, call that components. Yeah, make sure spell that right. And inside components, we can create navbar.js, and inside there we start by importing what is up with me today. Oops, import React from React. And if you're wondering what dependencies I'm using, and just make sure that you have the initial dependencies set up. We'll look at those dependencies in a moment. So if there's any JSX involved, make sure you have this import statement at the top. Otherwise, you'll just keep getting some errors. Now, with the extension that I've told you to install, it really gives you a handy snippet. If I just type RFC and hit enter, as you can see, it gives me this boilerplate for a function-based component. And if I do RCE and hit enter or tab, it gives me the markup for the class-based component. But we're just going to be doing a simple component, and a function-based component will just do. So constant, what we call it, navbar, which is just and I'll use some ES6 syntax here, like that. And inside there, I'll just want to return a div. Make sure that this is React as well. Make sure I'm returning a div. Yes. So I'm returning a div with, let's say, just navbar, like that. Save everything, and we can export the default as our navbar, like that. So save everything, and inside our app.js, we can import our navbar and say import navbar, or we can just search for it. Navbar, here you are. Let's import you. And oops. So copy that, and I'll paste our navbar at the top there, and it needs to be like that. So if we come back and check, we should get navbar, yay! But we want a cool looking navbar. So let's get one from BootStrap. Head over to components and navbar. And there, okay, you can choose what you like. I'll just go with what I like. Okay, yes, and don't ask me why. So I have this navbar here. I'll copy that one. Looks good to me. And inside navbar.js, instead of returning this div, we'll return, instead of returning the text of navbar in there, we will return all that. Now, inside React, and now I'm assuming that if you're watching this, at least you have some basic knowledge of React. So we'll need to convert this class into class name. So I'll get all those and replace that with class name, like that, and simple. So make sure you have all that replaced as class name, and we have our navbar or our nav brand, and I'll just do symbol, what, simple landing page, simple landing page, like that. And you can get rid of the active, or you can keep it if you want. Get rid of it there, change features to, let's say, wow, us pressing to contact us, leave us a message, we like to talk to you, and I'll get rid of the disabled link. Like that, export our default as the navbar. Now if we come back and check, we should be getting our nice looking navbar, simple landing page. Yeah, we have our home, contact us, and home page. Now since we have access to the BootStrap CDN, we can change so inside the app component, I'll create a div with a class of container. Like that. And inside the container, I'll move our h1 tag. Now that should just push everything to the container and give it some padding on the left and right. So I'll add a footer, and I don't know if, let's see, layout. If we go to layout, where do we get footers from BootStrap? Oh, from examples. If you know where we get footers from BootStrap, I don't know. I haven't used BootStrap in a while. Okay, so I just go with the sticky footer content there. So let's inspect the page and grab our footer. I'll copy that, get back to our components. I'll create another component, footer.js, and I'll just do RFC, hit enter, import React from React, export default. I'll just do it my way. So const footer, which is just a component that returns what? Let's return a div. Okay, this needs to be React, and we return a div like that. Paste our footer in there, and class, we need to change it to class name, simple as that. And footer content, we'll say this is our footer. Yay, like that. And we should be getting the footer, so we'll need to import it. Okay, and I didn't export it, so why do export the default as our footer, save everything inside app. Now we can just search for it like that and import it. Now for our footer, copy that, make sure we place our footer there and save everything. Now we should be getting our nice looking footer. Oh, where are you? So this is our footer. No way. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and use the navbar as the footer, and you'll forgive me. Probably I shouldn't do that, but who cares? So we have our navbar, and I'm going to copy you, bring you here, paste you there, save everything, and this I'll probably get rid of those, and I'll do a p tag in there and just say rem6. That's good. Save everything. Now we should keep getting our footer. Footer content. Come back and refresh. So now we have our footer there. And to push it a little down, I'll import just something from BootStrap. If we go to documentation, components, I'm looking for something good. I'm looking for a card. and I'll copy the card, come back here into app where we have the home page. I'll create another div, and inside there I'll paste our card, save everything. Okay, I didn't need to create that. Paste that there, save, and we're getting this error because we need to close off the image tag. Now if we save, we get everything auto formatted correctly. And if we change, we need to replace all those class names. And I'll get rid of the div with the class name of app since we already deleted the app.js file. Okay, now that's looking good. If we come back and check, we're getting an error. We're getting an error. We're getting an error. Now, where is this error coming from? Class name, class name. Get rid of that. Save everything. Come back and refresh. Okay, now I think it's with the styling. So with the styling, we can do something like that and say the width is, what was it, 18 rem, and that needs to be inside the quotes, 18 rem. React is just so weird. Save everything. Now that should do it. If you don't do it, I'm quitting. Okay, I'm not quitting. That did it. And we have our footer there, and we have our header. So this is how you can create just a simple homepage or landing page using React. Now let's get to the juicy part and use something cool like my favorite UI library. No, I'm just kidding. I've been using it for a long time, so that's why I prefer it, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who's just getting started with React since it's simple to use and all that good stuff. So first things first, on the getting started, we need to install the Semantic UI React. And I'll bring up my terminal, open another new window since I don't want to close the server. So it will take an eternity to boot up since I'm running on a slow machine here. So cd into test. Are we in test? Now we are in test. And I'll do npm I and Semantic UI React, and we need to install the CSS, otherwise we'll just be getting some weird looking styles. Paste that there, install all of those, and what we need to do is after installing that, we need to bring this import statement inside our index.js. So I have that copied, and inside our index.js I'll paste that there. Now we are going to get an error since this will probably take an eternity to install on my machine, but I'll go ahead and post it. Okay, so that took a while to install. So now we have those there. If we check at our package.json, we have the Semantic UI React and the Semantic UI CSS. Don't worry about the other packages there. So we can close off all that, and we might just want to get rid of all this since we are going to be doing this again. So get rid of our Navbar, get rid of that, and get rid of that as well. Get rid of our footer, class name container. Nope, I don't need you container. You can go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. So we have our div with a simple h1 tag. So let me get rid of that. Now for our footer, no, you served as well. Navbar, you served as well. Inside components, I'm going to create a new component, call it home.js, and also inside components I'll create layout.js, and layout like that. Now so we have home and layout. Now, inside Semantic UI, we can also go to the public index and get rid of the CDN, since we might be running into an error by keeping it there. Now, inside our app, Navbar, yeah, get rid of you. We don't need you right now. Now, inside here, if we go to layout examples, now in here we get some of these pre-filled or pre-made layout examples that we can use in our little landing page. Now I'll just go with this fixed menu here. If we check on source, and here is the code, we can go ahead and copy everything. Now fixed menu layout, copy that. Now inside layout, that needs to go to layout, we paste it there, save everything, change this to React like that. Come back to the top, change that to layouts. We're exporting the default as that layout again. So we have constant layout with a div, and we have our project name. What was our project name? Landing page. Landing page like that. Now, if we just come back and check, we'll get our simple homepage, which is just our app rendering out. But in any way, we haven't told our app of this layout and .js. So in here, I'll just do rfc or I'll import what React from React like that, and we can have our constant, which is just home, which is just a simple function that returns a what, a nothing, returns this simple function returns a div with a h1 saying that this is what is happening today. I can't type, so this is our home page, and I'll add a p tag with some text in there. Save everything to have it formatted correctly, and inside the source folder we'll need to create another file called that routes.js, and this is kind of a long process. We can just import everything inside our app and just render it out inside here, but I just want to show you maybe a project based way if you are doing some little project. So inside here we need to import some things. Import from React Router DOM, and this React Router DOM package is what we have here, so make sure you have it installed. Just do npm install or npm i-save React Router DOM and you'll be good to go. So what we need to import from React Router DOM is something called route, right? And if you need me to do another video, a detailed video on this React Router or React routes, you can let me know. So in here we'll export const of, I'll call it what, base router, which is just a simple function, again takes in no parameters and just returns a simple div. Let me just type it out like that, a simple div, and inside there have our route, and the path we can set to slash, and the component that we want to render out is what? If we go to slash, we want to render out the home component, and inside home we didn't export, so export default home. Export default home, save view home. If we come back to our roots, we can just search for home like that. Get rid of that, copy that, paste it there, and if we close off that, now we have our path slash, then we have our component, which is home. Now we need to add another parameter inside this root, since this is our base root, and every other root will be slash something slash something. So this is our base root, and if we just add in another route, say if we go to slash login, and we have our component which is login, assuming that it exists. Now we will get two components being rendered out at the same time, hence the need of adding an exact parameter here, which will tell React that this is the exact root and it will not match these two roots and render two components at once. So make sure you add in exact in there. So save everything. If you go to slash, we'll have the home component being rendered out, and inside there we'll have that this is our home page, and we'll just have some simple text. Now if we can come back and check, no, nothing is happening, which is cool. Now we need to bring our roots inside our app. Now what you need to do is, if you're coming from Django, you may, or any other framework, you may have heard of the base file. Now the base file is essentially the layout that wraps around everything, so that if you go to every page, you'll find that that layout is there. Now what we want is to have this layout being the wrapper around all our components. So I'll import our layout, make sure it's exported as a default, come back here to our app, search for layout. Where are you? I have you there. Now we have our layout. I'll copy that. Now we need to have this layout wrapping around all our components, so we'll also import the base router. So we'll import where is it? If you go back, copy that, come back here. I need you from, and it is in dot slash routes. So we have our base router and we have our layout. So we can copy our layout there, and we'll need to return a div with the layout as a wrapper around our base router. Now what this means is, anything that we defined inside our base router, it will be wrapped around, or the layout will wrap around everything. So all the components inside our routes will be will have that layout component being the main wrapper there. So inside our app, get rid of view, and React must be in scope. Let's check out the error. And routes line 5.3. Okay, now we are getting this error because if we go up, we need to import React from, and remember what I told you, if there is any JSX in play, we need to import React from React, and we'll get an error, and that is because we'll need to import one little thing. So let's go ahead and do that inside our app. Now this alone cannot render out completely. Now what we imported inside our routes was this route component, or this route element from the React router DOM. Now what React needs is to have the base router being the wrapper around this route. So inside our app, since we are importing the base router here, we'll need to import the browser router from also the React router DOM so that we can wrap that around our route. Import. What are we doing? We are importing from the React router DOM package, and that is the browser router. And since that is a long name, you'll see many developers renaming it to router. So many developers, me included. So we'll wrap our router there. And yes, so save everything. Now, if we go to just localhost, we should get our simple landing page showing up. Now we have this nice looking home page. We have our drop down home here, landing, blah, blah, blah. We have these images there. Now, what we need to show up here is in here. This, let me show you inside the home. So if we go to the home page, this is what we need to show, not these in here. Now, that is simple to fix inside our layout. Now we can get rid of the image for now, since we don't need the images. The drop down, I don't see anywhere we are using. If we get the need for the drop down, we can get it. I'll toggle off. And basically this container is what we need to get rid of. Now we have our constant of layout. Now inside layout, basically, since we wrapped everything under layout, these are the all the children that are wrapped under the layout, and these children are the ones that we need to render out inside the layout. So inside the layout here, where we want the children to render out, basically in this white space here, it is where we want to render out the children, and there we can just do props dot children like that. And since this is a function based component, we don't need to pass in these dot props, and we can do props there, unless it's because we'll get an error that props is not defined. So make sure you pass in props there and props dot children. Let's check our server is still there, and if we refresh, we see we are getting our text there. Now we can import something nice from Semantic UI React, which is something that everyone has been using in a long time, which is from Semantic UI React, and that nice thing is the container. Save everything, copy that, and we'll replace the div with the container. Why are you not? So paste that there. Sorry about that. Paste it there again, and we can pass in some parameters like text, which will just push everything to the middle. And inside the layout, we need to fix something, which is this fixed top, or let's see how that looks like. First, now we see everything is pushed to the middle. Now if we inspect, we'll see that there is some text which is being pushed or which is being hidden. If we check the elements, if we inspect, now we have this h1 being pushed down, or which is being pushed or hidden by the menu, that which you can fix, and simply by removing this fixed top. Now my friend, fixed top, save everything. Now if we come back and refresh, now we see this is our homepage, and inside the homepage you can go ahead and add in everything that you need to add. So Again, we can go ahead and get some layout examples. Now, what I need to do is to finish off by adding some login and sign up pages, and I'll add the links on the extreme right here. So if we go back to the layouts, we can take a look at some layout like this, which has something floated to the right. If we take a look at the code, we have this menu position with position right. We can copy that, make sure I copy it correctly. If we go to the layout, inside the container, we can put down our menu like that. Now, instead of the drop down menu or the drop down itself, you can get rid of that, copy that, paste it there, login and sign up like that. Now we should get all that good stuff on the right hand side, which is login and sign up. Yeah. Now if we click login, you should get the login page, and if you click sign up, you should get the sign up page. Okay, so that is easy to implement. Now there is something in here. Okay, we have this login form. We can go ahead and view the source of that login form, and we can include it as well. If we copy that, now inside components, let's create login.js like that. I'll paste that there. We're exporting the default as the login and the login there. And inside the components, I'll also create or let's just leave it at login. You can do the sign up page as a practice. So we have our login, and as you remember, we'll need to import our login inside our roots. Login, auto import it. Make sure you have it exported as the default. You can get rid of the exact there. We have /login. Save everything. Now, if we come back and click here, essentially it should navigate us to that login page. So let's go ahead and fix that really fast. Now, inside the layout, oops. So we have on the layout, we'll need to import the link from the React Router DOM package, and we can just search it like that, or yeah, like that, or you can go ahead and type it out. So make sure you import it correctly. So link from React Router DOM, copy that, and we need to wrap it around the menu item that we want it to be on. So link, and we need to, and that is /login, as simple as that. Okay, we can copy that and replace it there. Sign up like that, get rid of that. Now inside the sign up, if we click on the sign up, we'll get nothing being rendered out, since there's no component for that. Or of course we'll get the, it's going to log in. So let me just check that, and that is sign up like that. Now if we click on sign up, we'll get nothing being rendered out, since we've not configured the component rendering for that page. So I think basically that's it. So this has been what did I want to say? Paste it there. Cut that. and that basically goes to slash. So that is what I wanted to fix. So if we click on home, we are on home. We go to login, we go to sign up, login, sign up, and you can do the same for the nav brand as well. So I think that is going to do it for this video. This has been one of my videos since a long time, and I hope you enjoyed it. So it's been a while since I posted something, and I just wanted to put something together really fast, and I hope you like it, and make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in another video.